Good morning, good day, and good evening. Welcome to East Bay Insiders TV. I'm Steve Tavares. With me today is the defender of Decoto, a local hero, everybody, from Union City. Welcome, Union City Councilmember Jaime Patiño.
Hi.
So you on Tuesday night, I saw something I rarely see. You know, you do see in council meetings and that where officials they get passionate, right? Sometimes anger. But I've only seen what happened the other night a couple times when it's an issue that you could tell this council member really passionately believes in. It's a righteous cause, and they're feeling a little bit of pushback, and they're like, no, I believe in this. This is the right thing. I'm going to push hard. And that's what happened with you in Union City. Jaime, talk about this. Seemingly, it seemed like on the agenda, innocuous agenda item, but it wasn't. It had a lot of meaning, and it's a BART mural project. And that's been sitting around, shelved in Union City since 2019, and it came back, but it came back in a way different than what you recollected it was in 2019. And so tell us what the project is and what was your beef?
Yeah, so back in the summer of 2019, we had our council retreat for our strategic plan. In the strategic plan, I had asked that we put in there the Decoto History of Decoto mural project on the BART pillars, and I got the idea from my visits to Chicano Park in San Diego. So it was approved. I had then council members Gary Singh and Paca Coscos. They voted with me, and it was a 3-2 vote. Got in the strategic plan, and it took 6 years to get to this point. Nothing happened pretty much, but I kept adamantly saying this is what we're going to do. This project, I have not forgotten. I will keep fighting for it. So lo and behold, a few months ago, we start moving on it, and it is not what we voted for. I know exactly what we voted for. I made the argument to have that put on this in the strategic plan. So it was a bit frustrating to see it go to that, because that's one thing I had worried about the whole time, was that it was going to get watered down, and the story of this video was going to be put aside for something innocuous and bland.
So the Decoto neighborhood, that's you know it like the back of your hand. Your whole life you've lived there, correct? Don't tell your age.
Well,
there a long time.
Yeah, I raised my daughter here. As you know, I'm a single dad. My daughter is going to be 20 this month actually, and I raised her here. I was raised here. My grandfather came from Zacatecas, Mexico, back in 1935 as a kid, and he stayed here till the day he died. So we have deep roots. I have a lot of cousins, a lot of old friends. We have a rich history, and that story needs to be told.
Yeah, so tell us the story as you know it of the Decoto neighborhood. It is known a lot of very much a Latino neighborhood, but not always. It has a rich history. Tell us some of the things. It was a where you got your gladiolas long ago, right?
Yeah, just east of Mission Boulevard, we had the gladiola fields. So they actually were in the flatlands, and then up the hills. People used to actually carry the sacks with the gladiolas up the hills, picking the gladiolas. I mean, that was very hard work back then, but they did it. And so that was, in fact, for a while there, Union City had a gladiola festival. Now we don't have any gladiolas, but we used to have a gladiola festival here in Union City. We had the steel mill. My grandfather worked there for a short time. Many of the old timers here in Decoto, many of them have passed. They worked there at Pacific State Steel. And after it closed, it became a boxing gym where many of people my age, we went there, we trained to box. Some Golden Gloves people came out of there too.
Now, what really makes this story move is what this really is about, right? Is the gentrification that seems to be building in Union City, correct? That is what's really driving this. That not only that might not have this history on this mural, but the history may the mystery, the history in the minds of people, they may just move away.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point. It's not just it's not just gentrification here in Union City. It's happening all over the Bay Area, and in fact, certain parts of San Diego. I was just there last weekend. The old neighborhoods where a lot of my friends live, they don't live there anymore. The whole neighborhood is gone. It's been gentrified because it was so close to downtown. And over here, since we're here in the Bay Area, these homes are going for so much. It's hard for someone that's here to stay in the house that they were born and raised in. They have to buy out the other siblings, and the property value is so high they just can't do it. So my thing was, and I've said this many times, was that I'm afraid that my grandkids and my great grandkids won't be able to live here like I did, like my daughter did. But I want something to show, to be a testament, so they can come back here and say, yes, this is where my grandpa lived. This is the history of where what my grandpa lived through, of what my great grandpa lived through. So, and because if we don't do that, who's going to ever say our story? Who's ever going to know that we were here?
Yeah, and on Tuesday night, that was a lot of the speakers were saying exactly that same thing, right?
Yeah, and as you could see in the video, I normally don't get that animated, but I was very animated because of the fact I was being ignored.
Yeah,
and how do you think I feel being ignored? Now, I am a sitting elected city councilman for Union City, and my concerns were not addressed. They were pushed aside. Imagine how the average citizen would have been treated. So I had to make sure that a point was made, a line in the sand was crossed, and you better get back over it and fix it. And I wasn't going to settle for anything less.
Yeah, you were very adamant. So I want to ask you, like you said a couple times that you just, if this work plan, just in a generic kind of way, was moved forward on Tuesday night, you were adamant that there was no way that the Latino part, the Decoto part, was ever going to come in. What was the thinking behind that feeling you had?
Well, the feeling the feeling I had was that we cannot approve a work plan if the plan itself is wrong. So the plan itself is wrong. That's not what we voted for. And if you're ignoring me now, what's going to happen? We approve this generic work plan. You're going to move on 6 months, 7 months later, and then you're going to come up with something totally different. And you're going to say, well, we didn't hear from you. You never spoke up. So we're going to go over here. We're going to have, murals of Barney and SpongeBob or something. I mean, I don't know, but nothing to do with the history of Decoto. And so I was adamant. This is something I'm not going to allow. And this is a line in the sand.
Yeah. Well, I was, as I'm Mr. East Bay myself, born and raised in Castro Valley. And I think anybody who would be in the situation where they felt like they're fighting for their hometown would do the same. And it was just something that resonated with me. And I just really noticed, and it brought to mind that, a lot of people don't know in almost every city council, and even any of these like board of supervisors, that excluding people that were immigrated here, many people that are elected officials that were born here, they came from somewhere else. So that you're somebody that was born and raised in the city you represent now is actually an outlier, oddly. And there's many reasons. Probably one is many came to go to school here. They're Cal usually, and they just stayed. But it was refreshing to see somebody fighting up. That's why I'm going to make some signs. You're the Decoto defender.
There were a lot of other people there besides me. A lot of good people spoke up before I did, and a lot of people couldn't make it. They emailed, and a lot of people, they're tired after work, but they showed up at that meeting to give moral support. I I pulled strength seeing the numbers of people that were there in that audience. A lot of familiar faces. That helped a lot too.
So thank you so much, Union City Councilmember Jaime Patiño, the Decoto defender, the local hero.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And everybody else, thank you for watching. And if you're not already a subscriber, go to eastbayinsiders.substack.com to read the newsletter 5 days a week, every weekday at 6 a.m. And I just want to thank everybody at the San Leandro Breakfast Club. I spoke with them on Wednesday morning. Everybody's so nice. I hope I didn't scare you about the state of your city. But thank you. And thank you all.